Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of Action Awareness, I'll be talking about Daisy Chain of the Fairies. Daisy Chain is exactly the type of card we need more of in Smash Up. One that can be offensive or defensive, flowing freely from one to the other. The action is played on a minion and has an interesting ongoing ability. If you control the minion, it gets 2 power, functioning like an upgrade. But if you don't control the minion, it gets -2 power, functioning like grumpiness. The effect is determined by the state of control rather than a choice such as a card like enchantment. As I mentioned before, this card can function like an upgrade, and the +2 power is in line with most play on minion power boosts. Cyber Evolution is the anomaly at +3 because the cyborg apes are supposed to excel at this type of action. So +2 is certainly nothing to complain about. Dunwich Horror destroys the minion at the end of the turn, so unless it is indestructible, you may as well consider that to be a standard action. But Daisy Chain's context switching allows for some interesting combos that let you exploit both aspects of its ability. Let's start with the fairies first in a black box. Daisy Chain can depower opponent minions and slow down a player advancing on a base. You can then play Tinks to transfer the action to her, allowing you to get a permanent power boost with just your minion play alone, leaving your action for further power boosts. This works well when Tinks is on another base from the Daisy Chain minion, but it also works well on the same base. You will maintain the same power ratio as the -2 is removed and you gain +2, but you create 2 more power that can be used to break a base, and that can be significant. Every point of power matters with the fairies, who only have limited power enhancement. While the power negation works well in all cases against an opponent, it shines really well with factions who can change control. One of the problems with the kitty cats is that they can only take control of a minion of power 3 or less, unless they are playing Cat's Paw. To get more valuable minions, you have to depower the minion with a card like Grumpiness. Not only is this inefficient in terms of the cards you need, but it also reduces your value from a power perspective. With Daisy Chain, however, you can debuff a 5 power minion to 3 power, then take control of it to have a temporary 7 power minion. Daisy Chain helps not only with securing the contested minion, but enhancing its value after you take control of it. It's the proverbial having your cake and eating it too. Daisy Chain also makes for an excellent play with Aunt of Drakes, and the fact that you have 2 of these actions allows for some consistent ignoble combos. If you give a Daisy Chained minion away with Aunt of Drakes, you will have more time to take it back, since the minion will have less power and therefore will be on the base longer. This also works really well with Hostage Exchange, because it powers up the minion you are offering, which increases the minion you get in return. However, once you switch, the minion is immediately depowered. As a result, you can exchange a 3 power minion with Daisy Chain to take a 5 powered minion, and the minion they get in return only has 1 power. When you take control back, you will then have 2 5-powered minions. The same concept can apply to Flower Child, but the approach is the opposite. You can use Daisy Chain on the minion you intend to take away, then trade Flower Child for that minion. You can get a 5-powered King minion who becomes a 7 for the cost of a 2-power minion, and you can do this twice, once for each Daisy Chain. Use your Dancing Root to recycle all your Flower Childs and Daisy Chains, and you will pilfer all of your opponent's good minions. When combined with the Before the Base special, such as Ken Has Cheeseburger, this makes for an excellent, jarring power swing, as a player who should have 5 power, but actually has 3 power, watches their opponent gain 7 power, while they lose their 3. That's a 10-point power swing for 2 cards and no minions, and that's amazing, particularly at the last second. What's really a shame is that there are more cards that alter the control than cards that benefit from a transition of control, like Daisy Chain. As I mentioned before, Daisy Chain is a type of card I would like to see more of in Smash Up, albeit with different abilities. At worst, it powers up your own minions or negates the power of your opponents, and at best, it can combine with other cards to create tremendous power swings. The fairies are meant to be an annoyance faction, and this is one great way to antagonize your opponents and maximize your power. If you plan to use this card, Plan to do a lot of math. Remember, math is your friend. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.